Danielle Louise Spencer, forever remembered as the spirited Dee from the hit 1970s sitcom What's Happening, died on August 11, 2025, in Richmond, Virginia at the age of 60 after a prolonged battle with cancer. Known for her sharp wit and memorable one-liners, most famously, "Ooh, I'm gonna tell Mama," Spencer brought warmth, humor, and an undeniable spark to the screen. She debuted on What's Happening in 1976 as Raj's quick-tongued younger sister, a role that made her a household name. She later reprised the part in the mid-80s sequel What's Happening Now, delighting a new generation of viewers with the same charm and comedic timing that made her a standout in her youth. Her early success, however, was tempered by tragedy. At just 12 years old, Spencer was involved in a devastating car accident that took her stepfather's life and left her in a coma for 3 weeks. She faced a long road to recovery, later enduring additional health challenges, including spinal stenosis-related paralysis, and years later, a serious brain hemorrhage that required emergency surgery. Yet, through each trial, Spencer displayed remarkable resilience. Co-star Haywood Nelson described her as a brilliant, loving, positive, pragmatic warrior, a sentiment echoed by friends and fans who admired not only her talent but also her strength. In the years after her television fame, Spencer charted a new path. Leaving behind the world of full-time acting, she pursued higher education and earned a Doctor of Veterinary Medicine degree from Tuskegee University in 1993. Her passion for animals became her life's work, and she dedicated herself to veterinary practice and animal welfare advocacy. She also appeared in local Richmond TV segments, offering pet care advice, and achieved the extraordinary honor of being included in the Smithsonian's National Museum of African American History and Culture, becoming the first former child actor to receive such recognition. Her personal life, too, was defined by courage. In 2014, Spencer faced a breast cancer diagnosis and underwent a double mastectomy. In 2018, she survived emergency brain surgery following a ruptured hematoma. Even in the face of these daunting medical battles, she never lost her warmth or her dedication to helping others. Her final weeks were marked by hospitalization for complications including sepsis and pneumonia, and she ultimately passed away from gastric cancer and cardiac arrest. Tributes poured in from across the entertainment world and beyond. Haywood Nelson referred to her as our Shiro, a daughter, sister, veterinarian, animal rights proponent, healer, and cancer heroine. Actress Holly Robinson Peete remembered meeting Spencer at 13 and being struck by her kindness and charm. Family friends described her as a sweet and gentle soul, someone who carried herself with grace and never let hardship define her spirit. Danielle Spencer's life was a story of transformation, an arc that moved from the sound stage to the veterinary clinic, from eliciting laughter in living rooms across America to saving the lives of animals in her own community. She was a symbol of resilience, not only for surviving her personal struggles, but for reinventing herself with purpose and compassion. While she is no longer with us, the Dee spark that first captured our hearts still glows in memory. Her legacy is one of laughter, healing, and hope. A reminder that true stardom is not just in the roles we play, but in the lives we touch. When audiences first met Danielle Spencer in 1976, she was just a young girl with a quick wit and an expressive face playing the role of Dee Thomas on What's Happening. She wasn't merely a side character. She was the sassy younger sister who could steal a scene with a single line. Her delivery was sharp, her comedic instincts impeccable, and her presence unforgettable. For many young black girls growing up, in the 70s, Dee was a rare reflection on television. Smart, independent, and unafraid to speak her mind. Spencer's portrayal helped normalize the image of outspoken, intelligent young women of color in mainstream media, offering representation at a time when it was still far too scarce. But behind the scenes, her path was far from easy. At the height of her fame, Spencer's life took a tragic turn when, at just 12 years old, she was involved in a horrific car accident. The crash claimed the life of her stepfather, Tim Pelt, and left her in a coma for 3 weeks. When she awoke, she faced a long recovery process, including physical therapy and emotional healing. The accident was a turning point, not only in her personal life but in her career. While she continued acting, it became clear that her future would not solely be defined by television. As she matured, Spencer began to step away from the entertainment spotlight. She attended the University of California, Davis, and then Tuskegee University, where she pursued a degree in veterinary medicine. Earning her Doctor of Veterinary Medicine degree in 1993, she embarked on a new chapter, one that would be just as impactful as her acting career, though in a quieter, more personal way. Her work as a veterinarian in Virginia allowed her to combine her compassion with her skill, helping animals and their owners through moments of both joy and heartbreak. Even while she was caring for animals, she never entirely left her fans behind. Spencer occasionally appeared at conventions and nostalgia events, delighting longtime admirers with stories from the What's Happening set. In 2014, she was honored with inclusion in the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture, becoming the first former child actor to receive that recognition. It was a testament to how deeply she had touched American culture, not just as a performer, but as a trailblazer in representation. Her later years, however, were marked by significant health challenges. In 2014, she was diagnosed with breast cancer and underwent a double mastectomy. She faced the diagnosis with courage and transparency, using her platform to encourage others to get regular checkups and to face illness with determination. Just 4 years later, she endured another life-threatening event when she suffered a brain hemorrhage and required emergency surgery. Doctors were unsure if she would survive, but Spencer defied the odds yet again, recovering and returning to her veterinary work. These repeated battles with illness revealed the core of who she was, a fighter. Friends, colleagues, and fans often described her as someone who carried herself with quiet dignity, even in the face of extraordinary adversity. Co-star Haywood Nelson called her a pragmatic warrior, a title that encapsulated her no-nonsense approach to life. She faced each challenge with the same mixture of resolve and grace that had made Dee such an enduring character decades earlier. Her final battle began in the months before her passing, when complications from gastric cancer, sepsis, and pneumonia forced repeated hospitalizations. Even in her last days, she was surrounded by loved ones who remembered not only her accomplishments, but also her warmth, humor, and generosity of spirit. Holly Robinson Peete, who first met Spencer as a teenager, recalled her as kind, smart, and endlessly gracious, qualities that resonated with anyone who had the privilege of knowing her. For those who grew up watching What's Happening?, Spencer's passing feels like the loss of a piece of television history. Her character's famous catchphrase, "Ooh, I'm gonna tell mama," still lives rent-free in the minds of fans who can recall entire scenes decades later. But her impact went beyond the screen. In her veterinary career, she cared for countless animals, easing suffering and improving lives in ways that rarely made headlines, but mattered deeply to the people she served. In remembering Danielle Spencer, it's tempting to focus solely on her resilience, the way she seemed to rise again and again from life's most difficult challenges. Yet her story is also one of quiet joy. She found purpose in service, both as an entertainer who made people laugh and as a veterinarian who offered comfort and care. She demonstrated that it's possible to reinvent yourself without abandoning the parts of your past that shaped you. Her journey from child star to medical professional reflects a broader truth. The spotlight may fade, but the light we carry within ourselves can continue to shine in other ways. Danielle Spencer's life was not defined solely by fame or by hardship, but by the way she consistently chose to live with compassion, humor, and integrity. For fans, her memory will live on in reruns and streaming platforms, where a new generation can discover the quick-witted little sister who could outsmart anyone in the room. For her patience, both human and animal, her legacy is in the lives she touched directly, with a gentle hand and a reassuring presence. For her loved ones, it is in the countless private moments of kindness, resilience, and love that no camera ever captured. Danielle Spencer's passing leaves a void, but her story remains a testament to the enduring power of reinvention and the quiet heroism of living a life dedicated to others. Whether on a TV set or in an exam room, she brought her whole self, talented, caring, and unafraid to speak her mind. That is the Danielle Spencer the world will remember. A woman who made us laugh, who inspired us to persevere, and who showed us that true greatness is not about the applause you receive, but the love and respect you leave behind.